Imagine entering in an exam room and you are told to write a descriptive composition and you don't know how to use descriptive language. Can you imagine how shocked you will be? But how disappointed you'll be in yourself, especially if you skip this lesson. This lesson is about adjectives and it's for people that are serious, those who want to pass their exam. People want to learn how to write using descriptive language. Now, I'm going to show you in this lesson what adjectives are and the types of adjectives, and then I'm going to show you how they form the basis for the comparison lesson which you are going to have in the future. So if you want to pass your exam, stick around, watch this video up to the end. If you are interested in this lesson and if you're going to find value in the lesson, don't hesitate to subscribe, share and like. Okay, let's start by defining adjectives. I'm going to move a bit slow so that you can follow me, and if you can't understand anything, feel free to ask questions in the comment section. So let's look at the definition. Adjectives modify or describe nouns. Now, I know you know nouns. Nouns are naming words. For example, headset, microphone, calendar. All these are different. Any word that names a person, a place, or a thing, including an idea, is called a noun. But these words can be modified by other words. These words are the ones we are calling adjectives. I know it's going to make sense when I give you an example. So how do they do this? They tell us, they provide information about qualities of something. For example, beautiful girl. You can see the word girl is a noun naming a young female person. But we can say beautiful, so we get about qualities. How about quantity? If you say 10 mangoes, 10 is describing or giving us more information about mangoes. Therefore, 10 is an adjective. And then we have like identity. All these give us information. Secondly, adjectives answer questions. What kind? What kind? If you say, I ate a delicious cake. I ate a delicious. So what kind of cake did you eat? Delicious. So delicious is an adjective. They also answer questions. Which one? If you say that blue car. Now, if you look at the word that, it's an adjective. Blue is also another adjective. But in this case, we are focusing on that because it is telling us which one. And that type of adjective is called demonstrative. We are going to look at these types later. Then they also answer questions, how many? 3 apples. 3 is an adjective giving us quantity. Let me illustrate this in a sentence as you can see on your screen. We have a sentence without adjectives. The cat sat on the mat. Now imagine, just here, if you are writing your descriptive composition and you wrote that, yeah, that will be good. You give us information, but it will not be a bit more descriptive. So that's why adjectives are important. In this illustration, we see that when we say the fluffy orange cat sat on the soft mat, just by adding those 3 words describing nouns, fluffy orange cat, fluffy and orange are adjectives describing the cat, and then soft is another adjective describing the mat. You see that our sentence has become a bit rich. So when you write your compositions, especially descriptive composition, this is the kind of language you are supposed to use. Now, don't crucify me. I am yet to give you more information. So if you are still with me up to this point, just follow me closely. Let's now look at the key points that we need to move with in this lesson. So as we go along, let's just think about this. Number 1, adjectives add color, detail, and depth to language, meaning that they begin to paint a more vivid picture if we use them correctly. And after this lesson, you are assured to be an expert at using adjectives. Let's look at this example. Describing a favorite meal, a breathtaking view, or a close friend. Now, when we use adjectives, we can describe a thing. That's why we've got an example of a favorite meal. We can describe a place. That's why we've got favorite breathtaking. Sorry, that's why we have breathtaking view. We can also describe a close friend, meaning that we can describe a person. So with adjectives, you can describe things, places, and people, including ideas. What is the purpose of adjectives? So when we use adjectives, we are not just expressing what something is, but we are also describing how it feels, what it looks like, how it tastes, and how it behaves. We can use adjectives to bring in all these descriptions. And this is the picture I want you to move with into this lesson. Okay, let's keep going. Let's look at descriptive adjectives. What do? They provide information about a noun's qualities or characteristics. So when we begin to look at different types of adjectives, the first that we look at is descriptive adjectives, and what they do is giving us more information about qualities and characteristics. Let's look at this example, a beautiful sunset. So we are looking at qualities of this sunset, beautiful sunset. A brave soldier, a cold drink. All these are examples. Let me give an illustration. The young girl wore a stunning red dress. This is very interesting. All the words that are in bold letters, they are adjectives giving us more information. The next type is actually demonstrative adjectives. Their purpose is to point to specific things. When we use words like this, we are demonstrating where something is. We are pointing to where something is using language. So we can say, this book is mine. Those shoes are expensive. And you can say that this is about things which are here. This is about something that is here. And the plural of this is these. Then we have got those, which is something that is a bit distance. It could be 1 meter, 2 meters, or even more than 3 meters away from us. We can say those, or that for singular. We can say that shoe is expensive. Those shoes are expensive for plural. So an illustration, we can have a sentence without adjectives like, I like the car. We don't know which car at this point and how far it is from the speaker, but when they say I like that car, then we know we are pointing to that particular car, or to the car that's not where we are. Let's now look at attributive and predicative adjectives. Attributive adjectives are placed directly before the noun that they modify. They are placed directly before the noun that they modify. For example, a noise classroom. We can see that noise is directly before classroom because noise is describing. We can also say beautiful girl, right? Beautiful is close to girl, which it is modifying. However, predicative adjectives come after a linking verb and they describe the subject. Now, I want you to pay attention here. In a sentence, we've got the subject, verb, and object. But in this case, let's look at an example. The cake tastes delicious. When you look at the word delicious here, it is coming after a verb, but it is modifying the cake, because what is delicious is not the taste, it's the cake in this sentence. So these are called predicative adjectives. They are part of the predicative and they come after a linking verb. Let's look at proper adjectives. Proper adjectives are formed from proper nouns and always are capitalized. Now, if you look at nouns, I'll put a link in the description. If you look at nouns, a proper noun is always capitalized. Therefore, when we form adjectives from proper nouns, then we make those adjectives capitalized too. Let's look at examples. Italian cuisine, which is from Italy. So from the word Italy, which is a proper noun, we form Italian. Shakespearean play. Again, from the name Shakespeare, we form the word Shakespearean. And therefore, Shakespearean is always capitalized. I'll give you an example. We can write this sentence without proper adjectives like she loves cuisine. And then we can say she loves Italian cuisine. You can see how these adjectives work and you can use them. You can say I love Zambian dish, I love Nigerian. Mostly these will come from proper nouns. all the time actually they'll come from proper nouns. Let's look at collective and nominal adjectives. Collective adjectives refer to groups of people or things. So when you're describing a group of people or a group of things, you can use a collective adjective. For example, you can say the rich are necessary in our country. The rich is just now is a collective of people that are wealth. The elderly is it's a group of people who are old. Nominal adjectives represent a group or a class. So the difference between nominal and collective adjectives is very subtle, and you need to be very careful if you want to differentiate the two. Under nominal adjectives, I can give you examples of the poor, the brave, all these, because they are acting as nouns which are representing a group or a class of people. Let us look at interrogative adjectives. Interrogative adjectives have got a very important purpose because they are used in questions to modify nouns. Let's look at examples. Which color do you prefer? When you look at which, it is an interrogative adjective. Whose bag is this? Again, you can see there we've got that example. Whose is an adjective describing or used in a question to modify the bag, a noun. Which is modifying the color. Let's look at compound adjectives. Compound adjectives are formed by combining two or more words, often with a hyphen. For example, a well-known author. Well-known is a compound adjective. Let me give you an example. He visited a brightly lit room. He visited a well-known politician. He has become a well-known politician. So you can find all these examples. The next, let us look at the order of adjectives. How do adjectives come in terms of order? So when you've got a noun you want to modify with an adjective, the first adjective that should come is an opinion, and this should be followed by size, followed by age. For example, you can say ancient, then shape, then color. Color is followed by origin, then material. Let me give you an example of this. A beautiful, which is opinion, large, which is size, old, which is age, round, which is shape, red, which is color, Italian, which is origin, wooden, which is material, and kitchen, which is purpose. So we can say a beautiful, large, old, round, red, Italian, wooden, kitchen table. In most cases, you are not going to have this list to describe one noun. So you can skip. For example, you can use the first one, which is opinion, and the last one, which is purpose. You can say a beautiful kitchen table. It doesn't matter. You don't need to have all these in one sentence. Let's look at degrees of comparison. At the beginning of the lesson, I mentioned that adjectives serve as foundation for comparison. Now let's look at how this works. So we have what is called the positive degree. The positive degree describes one thing. For example, when you say a tall boy, tall is describing the boy. And then we have the comparative degree, which compares two things. You can say the boy is taller than the girl. So you can see how tall has become taller. Then we have the superlative degree. The superlative degree compares more than two things. So you can say the boy is the tallest in class. The boy is the tallest in class. And these are the examples that you can look at. John is tall. John is taller than Sarah. And then she is the tallest girl in the class, as I mentioned. In conclusion, let's look at the key takeaways of the lesson. Adjectives bring life, detail, and precision to communication, but you need to know how to use them and the order in which they should come. Then, adjectives help describe the world, express emotions, and create vivid images. And my final thought is, once we know how to use adjectives appropriately, we are going to transform ordinary sentences into extraordinary ones. So this is where the lesson ends. If you liked this lesson, please join me in the next one. And don't forget to subscribe, to share if you did not, and also click the notification bell so that once I upload the next lesson, you are going to receive that notification for the lesson. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.